right, man, let's get to it. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence prediction video. I did a breakdown on Instagram. They took it down though. I knew it was. So if you was fortunate to catch my breakdown on Instagram, I broke down some film a little bit about both of them. I kind of reiterate some of those things here. Check out the prediction playlist, the welterweight boxing playlist for more videos like this. So we got Errol Spence out of Dallas, Texas, DeSoto, Texas to be exact. 28 no, 22 big ones. Stopped Ordenis Ugas' last time out. I think it was around what for about what about 15, 16 months ago. Yeah. It's kind of look at some 5'9.5", 72-inch arms. Seen as the naturally bigger man, the bigger man in general. And we started going through some guys. He fought 5'9", 69-inch arms for Ordenis Ugas, Danny Garcia. 5'8", 68.5-inch arms. Just want to show y'all some. Sean Porter, 7, 69.5-inch arms. Mikey Garcia, 5'6", 68-inch arms reach. Carlos Ocampo, 5'10.5", 73-inch arms. Didn't go long. So that's the longest fighter that we didn't see him fought so far. Kell Brook, 5'9", 69-inch arms. Leonard Bundini Bundu, 5'8", 5'6.5", 68.5-inch arms. That was his last fight. Chris Algieri, 5'10", 72-inch arms. So, I mean, you was going through the list of guys. I think the last southpaw he fought was Chris Van Deer, 5'9", 72-inch arms. So, most of the guys he fought are on the wrong side of 70-inch arms. Now, he fought Alejandro Barrera, who had a 78.5-inch reach advantage, 5'11". I believe this fight was at 100 and what was that 47. So that's the longest guy he done fought, Alejandro Barrera. But you get the gist of it. The majority of the guys that he done fought at the welterweight limit have had significantly less reach than he has. And you go over to Terence Crawford, 5'8", 74-inch arms. So all them guys have lesser reach than Terence Allen Crawford. 39-0, 30 big ones. So that's something to look at as well too. So this be one of the more rangier guys he fought. Jose Benavidez Jr. had 71-inch arms. So Benavidez is similar height to Crawford, shorter arms than Crawford. He caused a lot of problems in that fight with his height and his reach. And I think Crawford Spence might be looking at that fight to kind of demonstrate. So most of the guys he fought, Postal didn't really have a long reach. He had 71-inch arms. I think Errol Spence reach was 72. So got a couple guys on there that got similar reach. I want to say Lundy has some long arms, 68. So I mean, yeah, they kind of fighting in foreign territory. Tommy Delorme makes 73-inch arms. He caused some problems in that fight, and Bud figured him out. I think Bud knocked him out. He was banking some rounds in that fight, and Bud knocked him out in 6. That was in Arlington, Texas, University of Texas. So yeah, I mean, they got a couple guys on their resumes. Crawford kind of more, prize fighters on his resume with similar length, and he's attacked it with Benavidez, caused some problems. Delorme length caused some problems. So, I mean, yeah, talking about, where Crawford is strong at. I mean, obviously the skill set, the punch variety, uppercuts, left hooks, right hooks. I mean, he has the entire repertoire going as far as punch variety. However you want it, uppercuts, left hook, right hook, switches, solid body puncher, really good jab, good straight right, good straight left, good left jab, good right jab. So yeah, he can jab with either hand and whatever it may be. So good foot movement, good balance, exceptional power so far in this division. Exceptional power. I mean, the way he sits on, he able to generate power on and off platform. Good movement with his legs when he chooses to use them. Plant his feet. When he locks in defensively, he's pretty good locking in defensively. You know what I'm saying? And, he, can move his head off the line, can use his feet to get his head off the line. So that's pretty much what you're getting from from Terence Crawford. Um, I can go on and on about some other things that he got going, but those just the gist of it. And then you go back to Terrence Errol Spence. You say what thing he does good. Got a really great jab, good length, fights behind his length well. Got a tight guard. Got good at cutting the ring off. Good footwork. Good balance. Um, good body puncher. Good fundamentally sound puncher. No, he fights within his truth. He ain't trying to do too much. He ain't rushing. He take his time. Great condition and fantastic condition. I mean, I don't believe I seen him take a deep breath in or Dennis Ugas fight. You got two really good conditioned fighters. Good straight left. I mean, yeah, when you start talking about some of the things he doesn't do so well, I don't think he got the greatest hooks in the world as far as, the left or right hook. He's more of a straight puncher, but his hooks to the body are solid. He did drop Sean with a right hook, but he was missing that hook all night for whatever reason. Let's credit that to Sean Porter. Some people think, I can't call it a weakness, but some people think athleticism and speed might bother him. Sean Porter's speed bothers everybody. So really what I just see from him, I see some fundamental weaknesses where he squares up too much when he throw the left hand on the inside. He instead of keeping the shoulders pointed and staying at the angle, he's squaring up on the inside. Um, Sometimes he don't bring his hands back home. If you punch in between him, you can catch him and catch his attention. So when he opens up a throw, you throw value. You fight a counter puncher, you open yourself up to get countered. So those are some of the things that really really bother you is that you take away his jab, it's kind of like he's not the same functional fighter, he's not the same effective fighter, but also the squaring up, not keeping the shoulders pointed, the squaring up on the inside, the squaring up when he throws shots, and then the kind the when he's punching recklessly, that's why I say working on keeping his chin tucked and his hands up. When he pulls out, sometimes he pulls out with his chin up, hands down. Sometimes he pull out with his hands up and he'd catch it on the guard. So, or Dennis Ugas caught him with a couple good, really counter shots in there. And, you in there with a really good, skillful counter puncher. Now, those are just some of his weaknesses that I see that could be a factor in his fight. You go to Terence Crawford, I think his biggest weakness is, discipline. Sometimes, I mean, and you hit him, he want to hit you back, and that can get him trouble in the fight. He dealing with a dude who got great firepower, might have equal or greater firepower than he do. You just never know when you get in there. I did see a little fatigue in the Sean Porter fight, but he did catch his second breath and he finished out strong. He is 35, about to be 36 in a couple months. That always can play a factor. And kind of the overhand lefts and right, the looping shots is what get Terence Crawford. He can be countered with those looping shots. I showed Kavalauskas, showed a little bit of Felix Diaz, having some success with the overhands, lefts and rights, and a couple hooks. Um, he's been trying to kind of pick that up and catch it and pick it off. But you can't counter Terence Crawford with those overhand lefts and rights. Just think you got to just follow up with him. Kavalauskas was looking for one big punch and not following back. I mean, sometimes you can sit on the back foot and let Bud create offense and catch him. But Bud can rev it up. He really can rev it up, and then before you know it, if you ain't putting punches together on Bud, then you looking at the lights of the arena and stuff. But I think when talking about this fight, just to kind of give you a good breakdown, I think when you rolling into this fight with Errol Spence and with Terence Crawford, I think I can tell you exactly what Errol Spence needs to do, and I think he told everybody what the key to this fight is for him, and I think a huge key to this fight for him is simply be defensive responsible, bring his jab to the fight. I think that's very important for him to bring his jab to this fight. Be defensively responsible. Keep that chin down. Keep them hands up. And when he pulling back, I would say you got to keep that chin tucked. Even if you banking on, even if you banking on pulling, keeping them hands up. Even if you banking on keeping them hands up, you still need to keep that chin tucked. You still need to keep that chin tucked. So so jab, keep being defensive responsible. Um, you know, uh And I would just say, obviously, when you go to the body, he got to be careful about going to the body. He has to be very careful about going to that body. You know, so when you go to that body, you give up the head. So that's one thing he kind of just gotta be aware of when you go to that body. He got caught or Dennis Ugas a couple times. You go to that body, you giving that head up pause. I know Henry gonna be like, yo. But I would say keep that jab working. When you throw the straight left, don't square up as much. When you get on the inside, keep them shoulders pointed. When you dig to the body, don't get comfortable with your head hanging over your front foot. Keep that chin tucked on the inside. Throw them shots with convention and slide out of there and pivot off Terence Crawford. Turn them. Sometimes Errol Spence got a tendency to sit on the inside and work, and he get caught just by sitting there working and not worried about defense a lot on the inside. So keep that jab working. You get them on the inside, get your body shots off, tie them up, or pivot out of there, make them and reset. That's very, very important. I said keep that jab going. You throw the straight left. Don't square up as much. Just throw it. Don't wait till you wear them down a little bit with your work. Wait till you wear them out a little bit. Hit them everywhere. Hit them the shoulders, the elbows. Hit him on the hip, wear him out where he can get stationary. Then you start throwing off them bombs when you take the steam out of his punches. I hit him on the wrist, the solar plex, everywhere. Shoulders, all that type of stuff, and just wear him down. Don't just think about I gotta wear him down and hit him on the head or hit him on the chin or just wear him down. You know, and then when the eighth, ninth round comes, step it up, and then you start throwing your stank on your shots. You get them comfortable with your power, then you start throwing the stank on the shot. So I think that's kind of the game plan. Get on the jab. Be defensive responsible. Hit them everywhere. Don't worry about the volume, worry about the quality more than the volume. And then once you start to wear them down, 8, 9 round, then you start stepping up the value. So that's just be my thing. I just hit them everywhere. Be careful when you're on that inside and not just get too comfortable laying there. But I'll just get that jab. I think he'll have problems with your length. He had problems with Benavidez length, had problems with Thomas Delorme length. Thomas Delorme had really good hand speed too. So just come behind your length, do what you do, hit them everywhere. Don't just go out here to try to score clean shots. Hit them everywhere. You're a house fighter. They're gonna give you credit if you score or not. Shoulders, hit them in the traps. Don't matter where the fuck you hit them at. Just start landing, wear them out. Then you step it up late and try to get him out of there if it becomes a fight of attrition or he goes into survival mode. But start with the jab and then be defensive responsible. Worry about defense more than the value. And then, when you feel like his power dropping off, you feel him get tired, then you step it up in them championship rounds where, you shown to be, the creme de the creme de la creme of those rounds. And that's what I would subscribe for him. That's a really good game plan. And just hit him everywhere. Don't worry. Don't get caught up in the speed and him catching you. And the number one reasons why a lot of Terence Crawford knockouts tend to happen for Terence Crawford is simply because he catches these guys with shots they don't see coming. He catches these guys with shots they don't see coming. I say it again. If Errol Spence get too caught up in what Errol Spence doing offensively, and he lacks and get lackadaisical on defense, he's gonna get hit with something he don't like. It ain't that Terence Crawford is he's a great puncher, but what makes him a deadly puncher? What makes him a deadly puncher is he catching these guys with punches that they don't see coming. That's what he's doing. He's catching guys with punches they don't see coming. That David Albanesian punt knockout, he didn't see it coming. The Kavalauskas shots, and he can step it up and dog it out with you too. So if Errol Spence is not going to be defensively responsible in this fight, his fight will not go to the cards. Now, Terence Crawford got to do, he got to start off fast, but I would think, he can go about this a couple ways, having multiple tools in the tool shed or in the toolbox. He can go about this multiple ways, in my humble opinion. Now he can go in there and he can try to walk him down, try to pressure him. He can go in there, use his lateral movement, try to outbox him. He can sit in the pocket and see who the better pocket fighter is. I mean, it's a number of ways that you can do this, but a guy that been out the ring, it's a weakness for Errol Spence for about, 13, 14, 15 months. I mean, hope that he got a problem getting your speed down pack. So Crawford got problems with reach, and Errol Spence reach is going to be a huge problem early on. Um, it's interesting for Terence Crawford. Do you want to walk Errol Spence down, or do you want to outbox him? I'm gonna go to the point where you just outbox him. I think that's probably more likely what you want to do. The hesitation in that, or where you stop and say, maybe not, because you don't want to give up too many rounds early and make Errol Spence look like he's the aggressor. You don't want to set a trap and then you can't get him out of there and you down so many rounds. So I think he's gonna kind of take the Victor Postal approach. I think you're gonna kind of see him. It may not be the same remedy like Hennessy, but I think you're gonna see him use some angles. I think you're gonna see him box, use angles, pick up his feet, stick and move, in and out, feints. And I think what you're gonna see him do is he's gonna use Errol Spence flat feet against him. He's gonna be he gonna sometimes he gonna sit there and try to push forward, and then he gonna pivot out of there. Sometimes he gonna move Errol Spence off the spot. He gonna come and go. He gonna feint. It's gonna be up to Errol Spence to catch him coming and going. And Victor Poster had a hard time doing it. And I really think that's the blueprint that they're gonna use early on, is to really outbox them, use their legs. The problem with losing your legs is this: at 35 years old, conditioning wise in his legs, can he go late? Because if he falls off late, 8, 9, 10, 12, Earl Spence going to come on strong. So the thing about it is, unlike the Victor Postal fight, he got into a rhythm where Postal couldn't break that rhythm. I think at some point in this fight, he going to have to push forward, and he's going to have to get Earl Spence's respect and push him back. Now he could push him back. He go right to Earl Spence and start pushing him back, but then again, more than likely, you might find yourself in a firefight. So I think what you're gonna see him do is some variation of Postal, maybe not the same, but I think you're gonna see him box, and I think gonna let Errol Spence create offense for him. He gonna let Errol Spence throw punches, and what he gonna do is trying to capitalize off Errol Spence punch mistakes and try to counter Errol Spence. But I think he got to be offensive as well too, because you don't want to fall behind. Earl got a great jab. You can't bank on getting him out of there. But I think what you're gonna see him move, box, be slick, use Earl Spence, stiffness and unathleticism, if that's a word, against him. And I think he's gonna see a lot of fade, and I think he's gonna box, stay on the outside. And I think he gonna keep Earl Spence off balance. He ain't gonna know when Earl ain't gonna know when he coming or going. And I think that's what you're gonna see him do. He gonna switch, he gonna move a lot, he gonna throw punches and bunches. And I think you could see a variation of a mixture of some of these things, or he might sit back, let Earl Spence make a mistake, counter. Um, and I think that's what you may see in this fight. But I think I'm gonna go with a shocking split decision victory for Terence Crawford. Um, I think it'll be somewhere around the 115, 113 range. I think Earl is going to be competitive. I think Crawford is going to be competitive. I think somebody could get knocked down. But I think it's going to be one of them controversial split decisions where, um, people probably going to say Bud should have won by more. Earl should have won this fight. And I think it's going to set up a rematch. That's just what the business of boxing says. You don't necessarily get those type of knockouts in these type of fights. Could I see Errol Spence going down? Yes. Could I see Terence Crawford going down? Yes. Could I see somebody rallying? Yes. But I think it's going to be a split decision, and I think Bud's going to get a shocking split decision nod. Even though I think some people might think it might be able to go Earl way and comfortably Bud way, and I think they set up a rematch in my opinion, and that's what boxing does. They set up for rematches. They already playing a Ryan rematch. So I think it'll be a competitive fight, but I think Crawford is going to separate himself in this fight at some point to get the tough, hard-earned victory. Some people say he need a knockout. I see Crawford with a split decision. I think I can make a case for unanimous decision, but he going into enemy water. So yeah, I got Terrence with the split decision. I don't think nobody getting stopped. Maybe drop. I don't see anybody getting stopped in this fight. I think Earl got too much pride to get stopped, and if Earl stopped Crawford, he was just a bigger, stronger, more prime fighter, So it is what it is. But I don't see Crawford stopping Errol Spence in this fight. So that's what y'all was wondering. So yeah, I've said it before. I said it again. See a split decision victory for Terence Crawford in a rematch set up for some time. in the near future. So thumbs up the video, share the video, check out the Fire Reaction playlist. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Appreciate everybody that financially support the channel. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Roll on the bottom of the screen in the link tree in the description. Appreciate y'all. Peace.